Sometimes in life, loyalty can slowly become a trap. People grow comfortable, we tell ourselves things will get better, but as the years go by, suddenly you realize nothing has changed. Your prime years getting wasted away. Having self-awareness, one of the biggest qualities a successful individual will ever have. Look at the great Kevin Garnett, for example. He understood his prime was going to waste in Minnesota. After 3 straight missed playoffs, the then 31-year-old cemented his legacy immediately with a title in Boston. The now banged up Anthony Davis seized his chance, demanded out of New Orleans, cemented his legacy forever a champ. Same goes with Clyde Drexler and Oscar Robertson, legends who teamed up with 2 of the best big men of all time, their legacy stronger with that title. Sometimes the hardest thing in life is walking away from what you know. The real tragedy is realizing you stay somewhere so long, waking up one day with wrinkly skin, gray hair. Don't ever let loyalty cost you your greatest purpose in life. Timing is absolutely everything. These players will wake up every now and then wishing they could have handled their decisions differently. The late great Pete Maravich ultimately predicted his future back in 1974, his 4th year in the league, said he didn't want to play 10 seasons in the NBA and died of a heart attack, which unfortunately was what happened. The LSU standout, much more remembered for his collegiate greatness than in the association, only made the playoffs 4 out of his 10 years. First 3 with the Hawks, had some good players to start out, including Lou Hudson and Walt Bellamy, the greatest ball handler and most unique player pre-1980s era, way ahead of his time before the 3-point line. Atlanta shifted him to the newly expansion New Orleans Jazz, the worst franchise he could have ended up in, showcasing all his individual talents, but had no help as he was entering the prime of his career, never finished above 500 in any of his 5 full seasons with New Orleans, had his best year in 1977, led the league in scoring 31.1 points, 3rd in the MVP race. His last fully healthy year, age 29, afterwards starting having knee issues, was ultimately a shell of himself during his final season in Boston after being waived by the Jazz. Not very durable, lasted only 658 career games, came off the bench with the Celtics. The first season of the 3-point line, went 10 of 15 from deep for his career. New Orleans did little to nothing to help him contend. The best player GM Schaffer got was Truck Robinson. Let it slip to the media, believing no team can win with Pete, actively began trading him behind his back. All Pete wanted was to lead New Orleans to the postseason. But a misdiagnosed torn meniscus destroyed his prime. After the 1980 season, a depressed Maravich physically couldn't handle the vigorous 82-game season, battled depression before finding his faith. Maravich, born with a heart defect, passed away from a heart attack at 40. Mitch Richmond, despite winning a championship with the 0-2 Lakers, by that point he was a 15-man. His career started off filled with excitement, famously known for the Run TMC trio, playing alongside Tim Hardaway Sr. and Chris Mullin. When one was to ask you to name some of the best guards in the 90s outside of Michael Jordan, names like John Stockton, Reggie Miller, and Gary Payton comes to mind. But Mitch "The Rock" Richmond's name, often forgotten, averaged above 20 points each of his first 10 seasons, an excellent 3-point shooter, the type of sniper who will easily be top 5 in 3-point shot mix in today's NBA, could also dominate inside with his size and physicality. Golden State, however, stupidly traded their future All-Star after the 91 season for draft pick Billy Owens, who was nowhere near as good. From aspiring title contenders, Richmond sent to the NBA Shadow Realm. When finding out he was traded, Mitch recalled that was one of the worst days of his life. After arriving to the cursed franchise, one of his teammates immediately said, "Welcome to hell." A devastated Richmond knew he was just playing for numbers, so upset didn't comb his hair for a full year. Before making his debut with Sacramento, season already started, too scared to watch the game against his former team, asked his wife to score. Found out his new Kings lost by 62 points. He started crying. Team barely even practiced at all. Mitch suffered 3 straight 20-ish win seasons. His other solid players, Wayman Tisdale, Walt Williams, and Lionel Williams, Richmond peaked at 26 points a game, made second team All-NBA 3 times, only made the postseason once with Sacramento as an 8th seed in 96. At least he got a taste of winning in the 96 Olympics, missed the playoffs each of his last 2 seasons with the Kings. Miami's Pat Riley wanted to trade for Richmond after 97, traded for Chris Webber summer of 98 to Washington, another crap team, from Shadow Realm of the West to Shadow Realm of the East. There's a reason why those franchises continue to suck in today's NBA. 3 unfulfilling seasons with Washington, 18, 29, and 19 wins, playing with Ross Strictly and Juwan Howard between age 33 to 35. All-time record with Sacramento and Washington, a piss poor 266 and 412. Finally got his justice. Joining an established Kobe and Shaq's Lakers team had a happy ending, his first winning team since 91. His career ended by dribbling the clock in the championship clincher, rolls off to the sunset. Mitch's professionalism, enduring the hard times for the majority of his career, led to a title reward. Could have gotten discouraged quickly. If Richmond forced himself to a contender at any point in the 90s, likely wouldn't have won a ring due to the greatness of Jordan and Hakeem. Mitch Richmond truly one of the most forgotten players. Despite all the struggles, he's a Hall of Famer. Sharif Abdul-Raheem, another player whose name often gets lost amongst his draft peers, a pioneer of the horrendous Vancouver Grizzlies, known for having the all-time worst plus-minus in NBA history, unless Zach LaVine breaks that. The third pick in the historic 96 draft, 6'9" power forward, had great post moves, but drafted to an expansion team. Vancouver started the season before. Sharif can play the 3 or 4, never got a chance to prove what he could have done in a better situation, possibly a second option on a contender, third at worst. Him and Brian Reeves, forever the poster child of empty stats bad team guy. His best teammate in Vancouver, a young Mike Bibby. Lottery pick Steve Francis, drafted, refused to play for the franchise, traded for scraps. Team later drafted bust Joe Miles Swift the year after. Abdur-Rahim had 5 different coaches in 5 seasons, then traded to Atlanta for the draft rights to Pau Gasol, ended up on another bad team. His second best player, a young Jason Terry, later traded to Portland for Rasheed Wallace. His first 8 seasons, played 609 of a possible 627 games, but slowed down his first full season in Portland, had a hyperextended elbow, needed surgery, followed by arthritis on his knees, was supposed to be traded to Jersey. Nets rejected him. Sacramento took a chance. Abdur-Rahim became a bench player, finally made the postseason in year 10, but a first round exit. His knees failed him, becoming fully washed by age 31. Truly one of the forgotten good players. Vince Carter. His time ended brutally in Toronto, was just 27 years old, had nothing to worry about then, but his tenure with New Jersey just as rough an ending. After 3 postseason runs with Jason Kidd, team didn't have the supporting cast to truly contend in the East, with teams like Boston and Cleveland getting stronger, Kidd getting older. The 30-year-old Carter, a finished product. Center Nate Kristich teared his ACL December of 06. After falling in the 07 semis to a young Bronze Cavs team, everyone knew the Nets' chances at contending over. Game 6, the last playoff game played in Jersey in 07-08. VC should have planned his next destination. Kidd traded to the Mavs, Richard Jefferson later gone, back-to-back 34-win seasons going nowhere. By the time Vince signed with Orlando, his prime already washed, supposed to be Dwight Howard's number 2 option, wasn't the best fit. Averaged just 16.6 points, under 43% shooting. His first and only conference finals appearance, averaged a putrid 13.7 points, went 4 of 19 from deep, got outclassed by Paul Pierce. His time with the Magic felt like 2023's Bradley Beal, a good ISO player who wasn't a shot creator for others. Despite playing another full decade as a role player, Carter's last All-Star appearance 2007, the 8-time All-Star, never made it past the second round. His last 10 seasons after falling to Boston's Big Three. Carmelo Anthony, one of the most complicated and controversial legacies. His diehards adore him, while his haters viciously criticized all the bad habits. His decision to rush signing with the Knicks when having the chance to join them in free agency cost his contending hopes big time. Spent 7 seasons at the Big Apple, 4 years too long, only 3 playoffs, failing to even have made a conference finals, losing Wilson Chandler, Danilo Gallinari, Raymond Felton, and Thibodeau Moscow proved costly. All-Star Amari Stoudemire had an MVP caliber 2011 season, but once Melo traded to New York, team went just 14-13 their last 27. Unfortunately, Stoudemire had back spasms, his body already breaking down, never the same, declined rapidly. The 2013 team wasn't even that talented on paper, but had a combination of savvy vets alongside a prime J.R. Smith and Tyson Chandler, the most successful Knicks in Melo's tenure. Role players got washed and rusty come second round time. Everybody on their last legs fell to the younger Pacers. Team later acquired busts like Andrea Bargnani. J.R. Smith had knee surgery, missed playoffs 2014. Franchise hired Phil Jackson as team president. Team finished 16-5. Their last 21 games of 2014, despite not making the playoffs, showed promise, but false promises that led to the darkest of times. Heavy rumors involving Melo, whether he would take his talents to the Bulls, but passed up the opportunity, teaming up with Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. New York handed him 5 years, $124 million, getting guys like Wayne Ellington and old Jose Calderon, a disgusting 17-win team. Amari on the brink of retirement. Melo played just 40 games, had a knee injury, cut his season short. His prime pretty much ended there. A fatal decision to stay at the Mecca. Team drafted Kristaps Porzingis, who became good, but Phil Jackson signed all the wrong guys. Melo endured 5 different head coaches. By the time he was traded to OKC, the then 32-year-old made his final All-Star appearance with New York, was supposed to be the third option for 2018, but struggled mightily. Jazz series against rookie Donovan Mitchell, became a fossil on defense. His last time getting out the first round, 2013, his reputation took a hit. Daryl Morey waived him after 10 contests with Houston, took a full year to finally get another crack at the league, being more than talented than 75% of players. NBA politics almost screwed him forever. Had Melo switched teams 2-3 seasons before 2017, would have realized he was no longer a top 2 guy on a contender. The best thing to ever happen to him, make NBA's top 75. Still one of the most controversial takes to this day. Had Melo done a few things differently, have a couple more playoff series wins, he'd be talked about more positively. Kemba Walker, one of the last breeds of a true loyal star on a bad franchise, from being part of a dreadful 7-win team as a rookie, starting off with Charlotte, would have traumatized many future star rookies. If you put rookie Michael Jordan or LeBron James with the 2010 Bobcats, they too would not have gotten any help to truly contend. After 2015, Walker signed 4 years, $48 million extension instead of holding out an extra summer for a bigger contract. Had Walker just demanded out earlier, his career likely would have turned out better. Just because he continued to improve running the show doesn't mean he had to remain loyal. Blossomed into an all-star by age 26, his very best years indeed between 2016 to 19, only tasted the postseason twice, falling to Miami both times. As Kemba getting comfortable becoming the player he was on a small market that didn't attract any free agents, Walker never came close to having a second All-Star in any of his Charlotte seasons. Given his herky-jerky style of play, the nasty crossovers and change of pace, the wear and tear on those knees, being an undersized scoring point guard led to his rapid demise. Had multiple procedures on his knees, being an Ironman for most of his tenure in Charlotte, team brutally didn't offer him a max deal. So much for extra loyalty. Franchise knew he was declining, agreed to a sign and trade to Boston, good enough to become an all-star starter, played heavy crunch time minutes 2020 all-star game. That game alone aged his body by 3 seasons, missed the next 6 games after all-star, outplayed in the bubble by Miami's Goran Dragic, retirement just around the corner after missing a month following season with that same knee injury, in and out the lineup, traded to his hometown Knicks, then signed with Dallas, who waived him before his contract became guaranteed, ending his NBA career for good. Demarcus Cousins Had he not been drafted to Sacramento, his career would have turned out 99.9% better. Anybody taken in the 2010 draft who wind up with the Kings set up for failure from the start, and that includes Paul George. The 3-time Sacramento All-Star never even made the postseason once with the franchise, didn't come close, 33-49 record, best he could do. Averaged 27-11 in his prime, made 2 second-team All-NBAs, from the screw-up to Tyreke Evans, drafting Jimmer Fredette, letting go of Isaiah Thomas, and taking Nick Stauskas. No veteran leadership, got him rejected often, even ruining some of his teammates' confidence, led to the biggest dumpster fire culture in the NBA. Later traded to New Orleans, teamed up with Anthony Davis, on his way to having his most successful season before tearing his Achilles 2018, a massive injury, never recovered, became a shell of himself at just 27 years old, never having to play a single playoff game his prime years. The 4 seasons before that injury, averaged 26-12. Boogie's offense was like a poor man's prime Joel Embiid, had no real postseason moments to show. Signed with the 2019 Warriors, hurt multiple times, cursed by injuries, tore his ACL before being cut by the 2020 Lakers, ended up in Houston, Clippers, Bucks, and Nuggets, 4 too many teams. Being drafted by the Kings easily cost him a Hall of Fame career, the most forgotten star, multiple-time All-Star in the 2010s, probably the most cursed career of any good player for his time.